Little glitch here. You see this pattern right here? I think that's supposed to show crops. Like, this is the agricultural world. But the world's spinning and the pattern's not moving with it. I think it's supposed to be attached. Put the important people in bunkers. Landing parties from the damned vessel bring death and destruction to the world. Finally sated, the cultists leave the system. Wait, what? I didn't get a chance to attack? I thought I would, like, send that order and then fight. I just sat there and was like, hide the important people. That was stupid. That was really stupid. I thought I was just issuing an order and then I could fight. An Empyrean, the most cheap resource is human life. Yeah. Alright, heading toward the question marks. An auxiliary generator chamber on the artillery deck was overgrown with thick stems of some thorny plant. The Voidsmen reported the vegetation throbbing and sighing, and when they tried to lop off an offshoot, the cut started oozing a disgusting pus. Some officers claimed to have heard someone trapped among the thorns. The desperate weeping of a woman's voice echoed from inside the compartment. Send a flamethrower squad? Failed! The fire reluctantly gnaws on the meaty vines. The warped creature begged endlessly for mercy, its soft voice full of stuttering. The hearts of many flame bearers faltered, inciting them to impale themselves on the burning thorns as they rushed into the tangle to save the unseen victim. By the time the chamber was cleansed, more than half the flamethrower squad perished in the blaze. God dang it. Holy gifts removed, so some cargo burned away, and Rock the Boat was damaged. Void ship management. Alright, repair hull. Alright. Let's go here. Uncharted system. Chart new routes. Nothing. Well, that way, it attached to that. That's it, though. What happened to Jay in your playthrough? Who's Jay? Scan. The smuggler lady. I do not know who you're talking about. Smuggler lady? Nothing on the arid world. Remains of a ship. Lord Captain, the augurs cannot determine who the ship we approach belongs to, but the telemetry clearly reveals it is an Imperium vessel. The hull is badly damaged, but there's an error in some of the chambers, which means they are hermetically sealed. What are your orders concerning discovery? Send out the order to prepare my troops for boarding. I will personally take part in the exploratory expedition. Oh, wow. We who walk down the same passageways in the same bays day after day, we who are born, live, and die to the hum of the ship's engines, we forever hunger for the smallest glimpse of another life, and for a chance to see the heroes who tirelessly fight for us in the glory of the Imperium. So let's have a tale about the Lord Captain. By the will of the Emperor, the Guardian, and the commander of every good and honest soul upon this void ship, and the time he boarded a vessel named the Fireborn. Like a dead whale cast ashore by the inexorable force of the swell, the wrecked vessel was a confronting sight for its unwitting visitors. Some bays still retained an atmosphere, but there was no life anywhere. The ship was dead, its machine spirits dissipated in the darkness of space. It was just the husk left, and the rogue trader's crew were to become scavengers swarming the carcass of a fallen Leviathan. Our Lord Captain oversaw the expedition personally. He decided, tech use, to train the penetrating gaze of the auger arrays on the damaged ship. Jay, where is she, the companion? Not seen Jay or not there yet. I don't know who Jay is. I have met Yerlet, the, Xenos lady. She's like a sniper. I have met Heinrich. I killed Erlina. Cass joined my team. I know there's a guy on the art for the game that is like a space marine. This guy here is like an Astartes. I have not met him. That's Heinrich. That's Argenta. That's Cass. That's your Letts. I don't know who that is. I can't tell. The Augur's keen eyes scanned the eerie vessel, identifying that the void ship was gravely damaged and was in the process of final erosion. There was very little time to explore it. 3 sectors seemed the least damaged: bridge, middle crew deck, and service bay. After exchanging a series of trills and warbles in their mysterious and ancient language, the tech priest responsible for the Augurs reported to the Lord Captain they had glimpsed signs of valuable components in operation in the service bay. The Lord Captain's next step was to turn his attention to the scout units awaiting instructions. The Lord Captain had to decide which of the 3 teams he would lead and which 2 would be entrusted to their officers. Let here be known the names of those honest people who stood before our rogue trader in that moment. The taciturn and grave Young Ho Son, whose word was as firm as his handshake. Captain Vesti, whose jokes will be remembered by everyone on decks 325. Captain Matna, the senior officer of the 3rd unit, known to many as Grey Matna. She had been leading units back when the current crop of scouts were snot-nosed kids. No one on deck was in any doubt that navigating inside the wrecked ship would be difficult. The units would be separated by kilometers of twisted metal, dead modules devoid of atmosphere, collapsed passageways, and hull breaches the size of a house. The only thing connecting the brave teams would be the delicate thread of a Vox link. I'm gonna go to the service bay. And so, after weighing upon the options, the Lord Captain chose to go with Grey Matna and her people, whose target was the service bay. He must have skipped her on Footfall. Oh, there was another companion on Footfall? Yeah, I had no idea. From here on, we will relate the events based on what we have learned from witnesses, the people who accompanied the Lord Captain on the tour of the Dread Ship. The shuttles started up one after another and dispersed, each heading for its selected target. An hour spent on cutting through the hull in the freezing vacuum of space, a fussy boarding, and then finally the road trader stepped onto the cold, dark deck of the dead ship. The light of the torches revealed a sign in the gloom: Fireborn. After a minute-long exchange with a Voxmaster, who quickly checked the archives, it was established that the dead vessel was that of Captain Nova Van Dane, registered at Kiava Gamma Port. Grey Matna said a prayer appropriate for the situation, then she looked expectantly at the Lord Captain, awaiting orders. This one's 100%. After examining the service bay and consulting the augurs, the Lord Captain suggested where the ship's undamaged components could be found. Success. From here on, we will relate the events based on what we have learned from witnesses, the people who accompanied the Lord Captain on the tour of the Dread Ship. The Lord Captain's assessment proved to be correct. After a thorough search, as all searches conducted by Grey Matna were, the scouts found undamaged components and marked them for later dismantling. Found 15 processors, perfume, 10 XP. Okay, so lots of supplies. Lots of cargo. Sound crackled from the Vox speakers and a light on the casing switched on, signaling a message coming in from the first unit's frequency. Commander Yang Ho-san calmly reported his unit was making satisfactory progress toward the ship's bridge. This was followed by a message from the second unit, which was on the crew deck. The Vox speakers crackled, preparing to connect to the unit's commander, Captain Vesti. The words that came through sounded muffled, as though the person on the other end wasn't speaking directly into the Vox, but accidentally pressing the transmit button while occupied with something else. Never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. Hold on. Wait, is it moving? The pale-faced Captain Matna barked out a stream of orders, telling the unit to close ranks around the rogue trainer and prepare for trouble. But then the yelling from the Vox turned to laughter. "Haha, I got you, old girl," boomed a voice from the speaker. It belonged to Captain Vesti, the commander of the unit exploring the middle deck. "Don't panic, we're all good here, not a thing to report. I hope you are just as uneventful." White with anger, Matna turned to the rogue trader. "Captain Vesti has a unique sense of humor. I strongly suggest that your lordship take him in hand." Strip him of command. The Lord Captain reprimanded Vesti for his flippancy and demanded a report on his unit's progress. Captain Vesti reported his unit's foray had so far proceeded without incident, mystical or otherwise. They had found no survivors from the ship's crew, or bodies for that matter. However, the unit had encountered a problem. The passage leading to the deck station with the arsenal and storage depot was seriously damaged, especially the power cables. Proceeding further could be dangerous. Logic, 63%. After consulting his officers, the Lord Captain issued new orders for Vesti's unit. Failed. Vesti's unit headed off to carry out the orders while the Rogue Trader and his team continued. Fortune smiled on the unit this time. Grey Matna, having trusted her instinct and experience, chose to return to the shuttle via an alternate route. In one of the dark branching passageways, the team discovered a modest but untouched trove of cargo from Kiaba Gamma. The voice of Young-Ho San reached the Lord Captain's ears once again. The first unit's captain soberly reported his people were proceeding to the bridge. The ensuing deathly silence alerted the Lord Captain that something was wrong. Following the gazes of his team, he saw that the unit's dispatcher, who was carrying the large Voxcaster with its antenna and transmitter, was lagging far behind the rest of the group, and the transmission indicator was dark. There were no incoming messages. Even if there had been, San's voice couldn't have sounded so close, as if the dispatcher or San himself were standing right next to the Rogue Trader. "San here, Unit 1 proceeding to the bridge," said the voice again. Now it seemed to be coming from all sides, drawing in from the left and right, from under the deck, and even from somewhere among the massive cables overhead. The Lord Captain summoned all his willpower to resist the illusion. Success. The Lord Captain managed not only to maintain his self-control, but also keep the terrified unit from veering into outright panic. Led by the Rogue Trader, the scouts hurriedly retreated to the shuttle, pursued by their comrade's disembodied voice, which continued to repeat the same brief message. After returning to the shuttle, Muck Von Luck received reports about the Fireborn's status. The tech priests who relentlessly pierced the wreckage with the Augur's gaze insisted on curtailing the operation as soon as possible, fearing imminent destruction. There were also reports from the other two units. The second unit had suffered serious losses when a large bundle of electrified cables had fallen on top of them. The group had retreated, unable to retrieve the bodies of their comrades or find any valuable hull from the ship. When reporting on the situation, Captain Vesti didn't crack a single joke, which was very out of character. Augurs and the Vox system proved equally useless. The first unit, which had been exploring the bridge, had vanished without a trace, almost as if the dead ship had swallowed them whole. Their scouts and their commander, Young-Ho San, had simply disappeared, joining the thousands of crew members lost aboard the Fireborn. The units assembled at the shuttles, and the Lord Captain gave the final orders of the grim expedition. Hold a service for the fallen scouts. Led by Sister Argenta, the scouts built funeral pyres. Old metal barrels and small shipping containers served as temple braziers. I almost said braziers again. In the wavering but warm light illuminating their faces, the scouts listened as the sisters sang a prayer for the departed. Yeah, it would be a very different get-together if there was burning braziers all over the place. Little by little, the listeners terrified. Weary gazes brightened. As they heard the sisters' words, understanding dawned on the survivors. Death dogged the footsteps of everyone, but there is a destiny higher than death. They should always remember that. That is the reason to keep going. Time was up. The scouting party returned to their ship with one last look at the Fireborn, the Rogue Trader. Gave the order to fire upon the dead vessel at range. What was born in fire should perish in fire. Okie dokie. Alright, quick save. Sakil says I don't usually read books. I am sorry for your loss. Begin scan. Nothing. Okay. Is this game better than Wasteland? I can't say. I have not played Wasteland, so I cannot make that comparison. Scanning. Provisions. I got tons of that. I'm going to save my last extractor. Scanning. The giant rings on this planet's surface can be observed even from orbit. Examine. It has emerged that the planet has a native species of giant insect similar to Terran ants. Just like ants, they sometimes form so-called death spirals, in which one creature follows another without realizing they're going in circles. These were the rings discovered by the ship's observers. The strange phenomenon was originally suspected to be a sign of warp activity or a nefarious xenostructure turned out to be a quirk of nature, and a tragic one at that. Okay. The augurs have detected wreckage in the void ship's vicinity, but the exact nature is unclear. Look for it. The crew reports that there's registered no evidence of a disaster that could have produced such debris. Look for the source. It just keeps repeating. Okay. Alright. I guess that's that system. Alright. Pillars of Viridis. Warp travel. Chart new routes. Okay. Visit. A white star. Begin scan! Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Plasteel, don't need, Inquisition shipwreck. Oh, landing party. Let's go. I think my wife made my son chicken nuggets and tater tots for lunch because I could smell tater tots and they smell really good.
What lies beyond?
I'm trying to click on this gun. Shotgun. Nuggies is outside, by the way. Hi, original. Medicaid.
Unexpected result.
These soldiers were killed by shots in the back. It seems they were executed by their own comrade, who then used his last charge to blow his own brains out. Oh my god. Sentry's keycard.
My warp
Whoa.
sight reveals something.
Trap.
Task should have been accomplished.
That was a very bad job at disarming that, Argenta. There's a gaping hole in each corpse's head. They were brought out one at a time and shot from behind at point-blank range.
Oh, one step at a time, amidst the madness.
Safe. Logic. You lack the knowledge to decipher the readouts on the monitor. Use a machine write set? Access received. What? Perplexed. Each stat grants a -10 to skills. What? Yeah, I'm not gonna, dude. What if you fail at the computer? You're just worse at life for until the next time you sleep. No wonder programmers are always so mad. Oh my god.
They will see.
Nothing's impossible
Oh,
for this,
yes,
officer.
indeed. They all will see.
Psyker, do you hear that? That's screaming. Passengers keep their mouths shut. There is no screaming. I hear it too. Oh, Emperor, his screams are so loud. Me too, it's so loud. Please stop this torment. Why are you torturing us? They do their guns. This isn't right. You can't treat us like this. What are you going to do to us? We want to live. Embrace the gifts of decay. Okay, so the Psychers were losing control and the other people fired on them. A squalid berth heavily soiled with blood and vomit. It is equipped with straps that were used to bind its inhabitant to the bed when necessary. A rotten brick of a corpse starch, a passenger's rations. Judging by the lingering smell, it was dosed with sedative. Yeah, we can just smell that? An aesthetic rasping can still be heard coming from the broken vox, a screeching cacophonous melody that sets your nerves on edge and scatters your thoughts. And there's also growth here. These people were not killed by weapons fire. Perhaps there was no ammunition left for them. They were brutally butchered with knives and beaten with gun stocks.
In this tapestry
God.
of a world,
Way to go.
I am
Lore
the
warp,
rogue
0%.
thread.
Crude scribblings and some blasphemous script proved too impenetrable to decipher. Nurgle corruption, yeah. They said something about decay. Small fish, eyeless and slimy, dart and wriggle about in the rank water.
What?
Crude scribblings
What
and
a
some
shame.
blasphemous scripts.
Curiosity
Cast your
sings
eye
in
there.
my veins.
Wait, what? Perplexed? Perplexed? Oh my god. Minus into ballistic weapon, intelligence, and perception. God dang. Guess I shouldn't be clicking on those 0% chances.
In my wake.
Through the cocoon's translucent film, you can see the vague outlines of a decaying body. The ribcage has been broken open, and a heart still beats inside of it. Still beats inside of it. After being shot, these poor wretches had their skulls caved in around their temple as if to make doubly sure.
What lies beyond?
Warden Kappa reporting for patrol duty at the main confinement cell. Atmospheric sensors indicate the presence of unknown impurities, high risk of contamination. Danger, detecting extreme contamination levels, initiating global alert protocol. Plague bearer says decay. Inquisition trooper. Yoink. Tangible psychic radiation is coming from the gurgling sludge. Perhaps it is the source of the vision that seized you. This tree has sprouted right out of a person. His broken bones have formed the collars of branches. His cracked skull is merged with the trunk, and dried gore now coats the skin like bark in a thin layer.
They will see.
Or warp. I'm not gonna click it because of the debuff.
They all will see.
Trap. The interrogator surveys the dissolution and decay around you with an icy stare. Throne preserve us from the archenemy's machinations. What do you think happened to this ship? Heinrichs looks around. Anything could have happened to it. Even black ships are not immune to the vagaries of the warp. The Geller field, a prisoner riot, a minor glitch in the sacred mechanisms, any one of these could have been fatal. Is this the same ship that once transported you? I have insufficient knowledge of the structural features of black ships, Muck Von Luck. However, I do recognize some of the fragments of the devices littered beneath the archenemy's spawn. Remnants of psi shields, speakers for stunning prisoners, sedative diffusers. Bad memories? His mouth tightens, no more than usual. Okay, we should go.
I better myself
Oh,
through
alright,
my
cool.
ship.
She disarmed the trap.
Amidst the madness.
Grab the loot. I'm just like nonchalantly carrying like 10,000 pounds of loot. The crates contain fragments of plate armor, rusted and covered in fungus. The lasguns, flamers, and shock weapons in the containers are covered in a layer of whitish maggots and partially eaten away by acid corrosion. Lore Imperium 25%. So you're saying there's a chance.
Why? Haven't I studied hard enough?
Voidsman's diary. After the last shift consolidation, they transferred me to the Pariah barracks. After everything they said about these freaks is true. I don't know if they were raised this way or if they really don't have a soul, but just being near them makes me feel sick to my stomach. Cold, unfeeling, empty creatures pretending to be human. They beat and execute the passengers like it's nothing. A normal person is disgusted at the thought of smashing a person's skull. Well, either that or they like it, but not them. They don't care one bit. If it was up to me, I'd toss them in the hole to the rest of the mutants, but psyker tricks don't work on them at all. Very handy when you're traveling on a ship stuffed full of enraged psykers. I had to move one of the psykers from the communal hold to separate quarters. That traitorous piece of poop was encouraging the others to revolt, and our esteemed ship's confessor ordered us to give him a good hiding. We beat him for 2 hours or so, and by the end my dang cough got so bad it was unbearable. I'm worried I'll be called in to see the Churgeon. If Command finds out about the crap in my lungs, they'll toss me straight out of the airlock. My only hope is the new augmetic, though the guy who fitted it on Felicia Primo was strange. He gave me the creeps and so did all of his machinery. No doubt it was all illegal under the Imperium's laws, but I didn't have a choice. A wretched bilger out of a Voidsman would never rise high enough to have his aches and pains treated by someone from the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm just going to hope that this thing clears up on its own. Maybe that guy brought disease on the ship? Is that possible with Nurgle? Someone just like carried that on here and then it infected the whole thing? Need a key.
In this tapestry of a world, I am the rogue thread.
Ah, turrets! Sir, we've lost contact with hold sections 238 and 239. The riot is spreading. The Emperor have mercy on us. I won't let these blasphemous mutants take control of my ship. Acolyte of the Inquisition, broadcast this over all Vox channels. In the name of Inquisitor Uton Hall, all crew members are hereby ordered to take up arms and begin a total purge of the holds. There was another text thing, but it disappeared too fast. I couldn't read it. The Emperor protects.
Glorious spectacle of your demise.
Oh, all the dead people just got up. Okie dokie.
Let's see.
I could blast through Pascal. Oh, I should have buffed myself first.
I'm afraid
well, no,
not.
I wouldn't have been able to.
I
Grenada.
will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. You cannot escape my fate.
4 down.
That is not the Emperor's will. As the Emperor
6 down. Yo, Argento popping off. Oh, are they behind us also? Goodness
But
gracious.
of course, Lord Captain. I'll put my psychic abilities to use. I won't object to it. Naturally.
Damage to bulk.
That's not good. Pascal getting messed up.
Be careful not to cross my gate.
Give
I'm
Muck
not
a
accustomed to
turn.
being ordered
Put
around.
regen on Pascal.
I am a
Give him some
navigator,
temporary hit points.
not a servitor.
More temp health, defensive. Taunt
At your beck
everything you
and call.
can.
Running by narrow side. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends
Medical
all.
mechadendrite.
One.
We've already got regen on him. Does anyone else have a disease or anything right now? No. Alright, cast it on self. Give Argento
Schemes
stacking
within
damage.
schemes.
Give Cass another
Let's
turn.
see.
If I may,
Momentum.
Too bad I'm still standing.
I'll do it. You, my Emperor! Faith without deeds is worthless. This is why I was chosen. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. You, my Emperor!
Don't know why those turrets haven't attacked yet, but I'm okay with that.
Let's see to it.
isn't this a job for the serfs? How dare you!
Have I already given...